Congratulations and all the best for what's next. Hopefully we can have a rematch. I got a few shots that hurt me, but I still felt like I was aware, catching a few shots, and I wanted to carry on.
He said that your power wasn't anything to make.
And slipping, but he was taking some, and there was an opportunity for the fight to be stopped, and he stopped it. Do I think it was fair?
I won that fight. Parker demands rematch after. Controversial Wardley result. Joseph Parker insists the referee jumped in too soon, claiming he was fine and moments away from turning the fight around. He believes the stoppage was unfair and now demands a rematch to prove who truly deserved the win.
Obviously you get caught and it's boxing, you know. I felt fine when they stopped the fight, but I'm not the judge.
Parker remains firm on his stance, believing the fight was evenly matched and far from over. He feels both men had their moments, but the ending left unfinished business. Now, all he wants is a second chance to settle it properly.
The fight, I thought I was fine, but listen, I'm not the ref. I'm not the one controlling the fight in terms of refereeing. So, but I went out there. We both went out there and gave it our best. And
despite the controversy, Parker's mindset stays sharp. He knows words mean nothing without action, and he's determined to prove himself in the rematch. To him, this isn't just about revenge, it's about restoring pride and reminding everyone he's still world class.
I still do. I guess I have to show that in the next fight.
Chizora's take captures how quickly the tide turned that night. He saw Parker start strong, but in his view, the referee's early call never allowed the fight to unfold properly. The stoppage left too many questions and not enough rounds for real answers.
Yeah, you walked in there, was game on. By the time you got hit by 3 shots, that was it. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you think the fight was...
Eddie Hearn looks at Wardley's performance with curiosity and caution. He wonders if Fabio's previous struggles were signs of decline or simple complacency. For him, a rematch with Parker would be the ultimate test to see if Wardley's power can truly hold up under pressure.
I mean, it all depends on if what we saw in the Ngannou fight was just him not taking it seriously, or if it was him in decline.
Parker's voice carries quiet frustration. He accepts the official outcome but refuses to believe it reflects reality. His calm words hide the sting of disappointment, and deep down he knows the fight was stopped before he had the chance to truly fight back.
I thought I was fine to carry on, but I guess, again, I'm not the one in charge of letting the fight go on or stopping it, so...
Dave Allen's ringside view supports Parker's claim. He saw Parker leading the scorecards and controlling key exchanges before the stoppage. For Allen, the decision felt premature, one that took away the chance for fans to see a clear and deserved finish.
It was really well. I thought Parker at the time of the stoppage, I think Parker was up. I thought Parker was winning. I wouldn't say comfortably. I thought Parker was maybe 2, 3, 4.
Wardley stands by the referee's decision, insisting Parker was taking unnecessary punishment. In his eyes, the stoppage was not only fair but protective. He believes he had Parker figured out early and that extending the fight would have only made the damage worse.
I think it could have come a bit earlier. I think if the ref was paying attention from the first time I hurt him in the second round, knowing that he was hurt and just shipping punches and just taking them, wasn't really defending, wasn't giving back. I think if you put those two moments kind of side by side, I think the ref probably should step in there a bit earlier. But I understand giving him the chance, giving them the opportunity. Look, it's a big fight. He did.
Parker's words reflect both disappointment and control. He refuses to lash out, but makes it clear he never felt out of the fight. His tone shows respect for the sport, but also a deep frustration toward how it ended. In his heart, he knows the stoppage robbed him of a fair chance to respond. For Parker, that night was not a defeat, but an interruption.
And at the end of the fight, I thought I was fine, but listen, I'm not the ref. I'm not the one controlling the fight.
Eddie Hearn calls it how he saw it. He admits the fight had many close rounds and believes the margin between both men was smaller than the scorecards might suggest. His assessment gives weight to Parker's argument, hinting that the contest was far more competitive than many assumed. For fans, it adds even more fuel to the rematch demand.
Usyk the winner. I think is that the overall. But I felt like there was a lot of close.
Johnny Nelson believes Parker's pride took the biggest hit that night. The way the fight ended left him embarrassed and unsatisfied. Nelson suggests Parker went in determined to prove something but walked out feeling stripped of his own moment. It was less about losing to Wardley and more about not being allowed to finish on his terms, which hurt his pride the most.
I don't want a big on my face. I've got to get a job done here. So after the things he said the last time, he knows he probably mugged himself off. I think that probably hurt him more than anything, hit his pride.
Eddie Hearn's neutral view carries weight. Watching ringside, he saw a closely fought contest with no clear dominance from either man. His honest take challenges the narrative that Parker was out of the fight. When a promoter of his experience calls it tight, it shows how controversial the stoppage truly was. This opinion only strengthens Parker's case for another meeting.
Just my opinion. I've got no horse in the race. It's like there's no agenda for me. I'm just telling you what I saw and felt at ringside, which was a very close fight.
Duke McKenzie's words bring a dose of old-school realism. He reminds everyone that every fighter must face setbacks, and the best response is to learn and return stronger. But in Parker's case, many feel this loss came under unfair circumstances. For him, moving on does not mean letting go. It means coming back, sharper, hungrier, and determined to prove that the referee's call was the real mistake that night.
When you lose in a fight, never mind a world title fight, when you lose in a fight, full stop, you know, the best thing to do is to dry your tears and crack on. You know, you got to man up. Sometimes somebody just got your...
Duke McKenzie speaks from experience, defending the credibility of the officials. In his eyes, the people at ringside were professionals chosen for their expertise, and they made their calls based on what they saw in the moment. Still, that view does not erase the growing belief among fans that something felt off about the timing of the stoppage. Many spectators saw Parker alert, moving, and still responding when the referee intervened. Even if the judges were elite, that one moment in the ring changed everything. The question that lingers is not about their credentials, but about whether the fight was allowed to breathe long enough to reach a fair conclusion. Parker's frustration resonates because boxing history is full of fighters whose best moments were cut short by human decisions. For McKenzie, the system worked, but for Parker, it was the system that failed him when it mattered most.
What was that be? We're talking about the ringside judges. They don't make things up, you know. They allegedly got the best of the best to referee and to judge that fight. So, 3 judges, one can't get it wrong. One could possibly get it wrong, but the other 2 didn't. And
John Fury cuts through the noise with brutal honesty. He acknowledges Wardley's talent, but warns that experience matters more than hype. In his view, Wardley is still learning the craft, still finding rhythm against fighters who have spent years mastering every detail inside the ring. Fury respects Fabio's aggression, but believes facing elite opponents too early could backfire. His comment subtly hints that Parker's experience should have given him the upper hand, and the premature stoppage deprived fans of seeing how that knowledge could have shifted the fight. For Fury, Wardley's win was more about opportunity than dominance. He believes a few more battles against tough contenders would shape Fabio into a more complete fighter. Until then, he remains unproven at the very top level. In many ways, Fury's words echo Parker's argument that true greatness cannot be gifted by an early stoppage, it has to be earned through rounds of struggle and skill.
Well, if I was managing Fabio, no, because there's levels to the game and he's not there with Usyk yet. Usyk's a tricky operator, ton of experience. You're looking at a kid who's had no amateur fights, had about 8 white collar fights, and you can't make the transition from that to that. But don't get me wrong, if he hit Usyk, he'll tip Usyk upside down. But what I would do is just get him another 4 or 5 wins, you know, let him fight good men and let him go when he's ready.
The controversy surrounding the Parker vs. Wardley fight refuses to fade. Joseph Parker remains adamant that the referee stepped in far too soon, denying him the chance to change the fight's course. His calm but determined tone shows a fighter who still believes he was in control, ready to weather the storm and strike back. Meanwhile, Wardley stands by the stoppage, confident that his punches had Parker finished. The boxing world is now split down the middle, with some defending the referee's decision and others demanding justice for Parker. Analysts, fighters, and fans all agree on one thing: this story is not over. Parker's demand for a rematch feels inevitable, a chance to settle unfinished business and remove all doubts once and for all. He wants redemption, Wardley wants validation, and the fans want closure. When these two meet again, the tension will be higher, the stakes greater, and the pressure immense. Only then will the world know who truly deserves the spotlight. If you want to see that rematch happen, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Should Parker get his second shot at redemption, or has Wardley already proven his point?